Hi everybody, this is Danielle. I am going to do a look for you today for after we are all out of quarantine and we want to get out, maybe get a babysitter and go get some dinner and a drink with our hubbies or significant other, because I know I am ready to get out of quarantine. So I figured I will do a nice date night tutorial today for you guys. So I started already with my moisturizer and I've already primed my face, so you can use whatever primer you like. If you have oily skin, get something for your T-zone, which is usually the most oiliest part of your body, or oiliest part of your face. And we're gonna start with your eyes today. So I'm gonna start with my Tarte Shape Tape. I like to prime my eyes with Tarte Shape Tape. It's kind of just like my base is of my eyeshadow. So I take my brush and I just take a thin layer on top of my eyes. Now they do have primers for your eyelids that are made for this, but I do find that the Shape Tape works just as well. So if you're looking to save a little money, I think that you can kind of get a 2-for-1 in your concealer, which is the Shape Tape concealer, which I really believe is the best one right now on the market. To go in the corner of my eyes a little bit here because I have deepness in there, a little, blue undertones under there from my under eye circles. And then I'm going to go in with my already wet and squeezed out Beauty Blender, and I'm just going to kind of tap a little bit just to set that in on my eyelids. Okay. So today what I'm going to do, I'm going to work with one palette. A lot of times I mix my palettes and colors and what I'm in the mood for just because I have so many. But today I'm going to use my Carli Bybel Anastasia Beverly Hills. There's a little shine there. Trying not to get it for you. There goes the brush. I'm going to use this today. I figured since spring is around the corner, we're going to kind of go with a spring look. So I am going to do more of the warm tones over here. I'm going to use the oranges, golds, and stick with these tones right here. I figured this is kind of a neutral palette for most people, in the browns and nudes, maybe a little golds. I love to add a little orange into my looks. It's just what goes good with my skin tone, but everybody's different. So I am going to start with putting tape under my eyes. This is my favorite trick to do when I am applying my eyeshadow because I am very heavy-handed. So I like to do my eyeshadow first so it doesn't go all over my foundation and all that fun stuff that we'll do after. And it also creates a perfect line from the corner of your eye where you want it. And then afterwards you could kind of, blend it a little bit so it's not such a harsh line. If you're going for that harsh line, then leave it alone. You could add a little cat eye with your eyeliner. I'm gonna look in the mirror here because it's a little easier. Make sure they're even. You don't want wonky, uneven eyes. All right, and there we go. So now I'm ready for my eyeshadow. So I am going to take my fluffy round brush and I am going to dip into, Cindy over here. This orangey pretty color. I'm going to just lightly tap and then tap, tap, tap. And here I go. I am going to add some small circles from the outer part. And you could go over the tape there. I'm going to lower that a little bit. I'm going to go over the tape a little bit. And I'm going to start bringing it toward the inner part of my eye. Light circular motions. You don't want to bring this color up to your eyebrow. You always want to leave a little lightness up here. So make sure we don't go too high. Go to the other eye. I'm going to add a little bit more. So you always start with less, and then you could always go back and deepen the color. I am going to take another little round brush, maybe not as fluffy as the last one. And I'm going to go into the deeper color, which is Chai. Same thing. I'm going to go on, stay on the outskirts of my eye. And I'm going to tap this one in a little bit more than circular motions. And I'm also going to press it into like where my eyelash line is, the lash line. This is just going to help deepening your lash line later. So as you could see, we're just building on top of the color. And I'm just going to keep on building. Keep adding the drama. And go to the other eye. And now I'm even going to go deeper. I'm going to go to this brown color up here. It's called Buoy, I believe that's how you pronounce it, up in the corner. And I'm going to stay with the same brush because we're just, why bother dirtying another brush? Make sure there's a little bit of product on your brush. Don't make sure that there's never too much, then you're really going to get it everywhere. A little bit at a time. Same thing here. I'm going to tap it and press. And then I'm going to lightly, like super light, kind of circular motions go towards the inner, trace like the whole lid here up on top, like that crease area, just to deepen the whole look. So you can see a little bit of the difference there to there. And then we're going to do the other eye. So there we deepened our outer corners. Now I'm going to take my flat brush. I'm going to go in with something like so. And I'm going to go in to Bear right here. I'm going to sweep it on, tap, tap, tap. I'm going to just add a little up here. Ooh, look at that. Might have to sweep a little bit of that away just to blend. Go back with that fluffy, fluffy brush. There we go. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. And go in with this one. And then blendy, blendy, blend. Now, we're going to go into the inner corner of our eye with the same color, Bear. And I'm going to press in the inner corner, making sure I don't go above this crease. I'm staying on the inside, just where your eye folds when you open your eye. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And we opened up our eyes a little bit there. I'm going to go back to my big fluffy brush that I had before. I'm going to go back into Cindy, the one we started with. And I'm going to add a little bit more of this color in the center here, just to warm it up. And circular, small motions. Don't bring it all the way in because you don't want to take away that pretty brightness in the inner corner. Same on this side. And now if you're like me and you like any bit of sparkle, I'm gonna go into the color Moo. What a fun color name. And I am going to take a smaller flat brush, like so, and I'm gonna wet it a little bit with, you could wet it with water or you could wet it with setting spray. Doesn't matter. A water bottle like this, they'll like to wet it. This just makes the pigment and the sparkles or glitter in your eyeshadow, I feel, stand out more. So I'm gonna tap it, same thing in there, tap it off. And I am going to press on the inner corner where I put the color Bear, right over it. And then you could kind of like bring it out a little bit. You don't want the whole lid to be shimmery. I mean, I guess you could. I love glitter, so you could make the whole lid glittery if you wanted. And the more you just keep tapping and pressing on there, the more product you're gonna have on there, and the deeper and the more color, I guess, you'll get. So you could just keep adding layers and layers and layers. Mama. Okay, so basically done with my eyes, my eyeshadow, I should say, not my eyes. If you wanted to go even deeper, you can go, just keep adding the Bowie brown out in this corner here, or Bowie, B-O-I-E. And you could take like a smaller, let me see here. Take a smaller brush, like I have this angled brush that I love for the outer corners. I'm gonna go back into that Bowie. And I'm gonna deepen this outer corner even more, add a little bit more drama. And I'm literally going in like a V shape to make that outer corner deepest. Just adds dimension to your eyelid. Ooh, fun word. Dimension. And I'm just bringing on the drama. And then we're gonna go back in and we're gonna blend again. Because, I mean, you just can never be too blended. I'm gonna add a little bit more of that Cindy color back up in here because I feel like I lost it again. And add a little back over there. And blend, blend, blend. Okie doke. So, now, you're gonna take your favorite eyeliner. You can do a liquid, you can do a pencil, you can do a dip, do whatever you want. On a lot of my clients, I use the dip just because I feel like it's a little bit more sanitized, for lack of a better term, because I use so many, on so many different people. So I think what most people have are just like a liner pencil. So I'm going to kind of stick with that. Right now I'm going to use the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Liner. Make sure you shake it up. And I'm going to leave the tape on my eyes because it really does help, or at least it helps me. I'm going to use this little mirror here because it's easier. And I'm going to do small little lines along my lash line to start. You could bring it out and you could go over the tape if you want. Now I am going to go above and beyond. You can stop right here and leave a super thin little line. It's up to you. I am going to go deeper. So from the center of my eye, I'm going to come out. And then I'm going to fill that in. And I'm going to make sure I get in the inner corners here. because you don't like I don't like a little gap in there. Try doing that on somebody else. That's tough. Makeup wipes, and I'm just gonna wipe away any of that fallout. So now if I was to have already done my foundation and all that fun stuff, I would kind of ruin all the stuff that I did because I'm very, like I said, very heavy-handed. Some people can do it. Then good for them. There's no right or wrong. Put it that way. Okay? So now my face has already been prepped. I am now going to do my lashes. All right? And I'm going to put it on. I'm going to close my eye. And I'm going to start in the center. I'm going to push it in with my tweezer. And now what you could do, make sure you don't try it, make sure you try not to tweeze yourself because that hurts, I've done it before, is squeeze your lashes and the base of the false lashes together. We want to have a seamless look and make these look like there are lashes because doesn't everybody have lashes like this? And I like to push them up a little bit too. If you're like me and heavy-handed, now make sure you wipe this off. Otherwise you'll get it in your hair. If you're like me, you know, I tear and the glue bothers me. I go back with my Neutrogena wipe. I go back in and I just gently like kind of get in the corners there because then that glue will just dry there and just be really annoying and start burning. And if you have contacts like I do, it gets to be a pain in the tuchus later. All right. So now my process might be different than the next person's, but what I like to do is leave the underneath my eye alone for now because I'm going to kind of go under there with concealer and all that fun stuff. So I like to leave it. Today I am going to use my all-time favorite for kind of every day. If I'm doing a bride, I'll probably do a couple other, you know, products, maybe be a little bit more full coverage. But since this is our like go-to night out, date night with our spouse look, I'm sure most of you are not caking it on. So I'm going to go with my IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer. I am going to use medium today. Then I'm going to go back with my wet Beauty Blender and I am going to tap, 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 tap away. Make sure you get in these little crevasses in here. And make sure you bring your color up into your hairline a bit. Make sure you don't get it in your hair. There's a little happy medium, fine line between getting it in your hair and in your hairline. But you also don't want to have like, you know, a drawn on foundation. Make sure, sometimes if you're wearing your hair back, I actually like to go on my ears a little bit because that's another thing too. Like you don't want your face to be a different color than your ears. Not attractive. Excuse my stuffy nose as we are in allergy season. Okay, so that's my base foundation. I'm gonna go back to my favorite, my Shape Tape, my Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer. The color I use is medium, okay? Now, I don't like to put this directly on my face. It's just always too caked on with products. Too much product. And when you put too much of this product on your face, it's going to go in those crevasses, those wrinkles. You know, the older we get these little fine lines under our eyes. This will settle right on in there and make them look worse. So less is more. I will go in with my little concealer brush, and I'm just going to take some off of there, and I'm going to paint that on. I'm going to go up in the corner, and I'm not going to go right to my lash line. I'm going to keep it down here, and then I'm going to also go up, you know, my cheekbone a little bit where like I would want to highlight. I'm going to bring it down my nose a little bit. Bring it underneath here where everybody gets a little red from, you know, blowing their nose and whatnot. I'm going to go to the other eye. Okay, now I also like to use this a little bit as a highlight. So I'm going to put it on my chin. Put it on the bridge of my nose. I'm going to bring it up here. And that's where I'm going to kind of end it today. Now, when that is done, I'm going to go back in with my Beauty Blender, squeeze it so that it's smaller, and I'm going to tap away. Do not rub. I didn't go up to the lash line, but now with this, I'm going to kind of bring it up there. This will help, you know, maybe not get in those creases as much. And then we're going to go up. Ooh, right in my eye. So now I'm going to contour. Today I'm going to use the Ardell, this one you could get in Ulta, the Ardell Glam Touring Highlight and Contour Duo. Which is awesome because it's got both. So you don't have to worry about all that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my deep contour first. So I'm going to go with the deeper color, and I am going to go from underneath my cheekbone all the way down. I like to kind of go up to my temples a little bit. And I'm going to round my chin. And I'm going to line my jaw. And I'm going to go up to my forehead here and draw a couple little swirlies. Deepen. Oh, I just lost the other side of this. I guess I got to keep the cap on for that one. And then I'm going to thin my nose. Make it look thinner. So I'm going to start here and draw a line down. Now, you don't have to do all this crazy contouring. You could simply put on a little bronzer and a little brush and go out with your man. But I love a contour. And now I'm going to go with my brighter color here. And I'm going to kind of go up those cheekbones. I'm going to go up that way. I'm going to bring it up. And we're going to blend, blend, blend. Here we go. So next up we're gonna bake. Is I'm gonna kind of swipe that on there, and I'm gonna start pressing this down the side of my nose. Basically anywhere that you just did your brightest colors, like your concealer. I'm gonna press that up on in there. And then if you want a deep line there, oh, look at that. And we're gonna simply let it bake on there for a few minutes. Now, you could go in and color in those eyebrows if you like, because there's probably all kinds of makeup on top of them. I have my eyebrows microbladed. I still need to go back and get them retouched up. But even with all this makeup on, even with the microblading, you still gotta go in and kind of fix them up a little bit. So I am using Morphe. The color is Hazelnut. It's nice because it's got the little spoolie on one side. If I could open it. Yeah. And you could do whatever your favorite product is here. I'm gonna get my mirror. Whatever your favorite product for this is, use it. Sometimes I go back and forth. Sometimes I use the Dip Brows. Anastasia Beverly Hills obviously has some of the best brow products on the market. I use her powders for most of my clients just because it's easy. And I could get all the shades in one palette, which is really nice, and they all stay. Sometimes I'll mix a little bit of the powder as well. Okay, so we're still baking those contoured places, right? Okay, now I'm gonna go underneath my eye with my liner. I'm going to give a little bit smoky eye underneath, and I'm gonna pull down a little bit, and I'm gonna line my waterline here. Okay, now I'm gonna go back to my eyeshadow palette, and I'm gonna get a small little brush like this little guy here, and I'm gonna go back into, I think first I'm gonna go back into Chai and bring that warm orangey tone. Make sure there's not dark stuff on it like mine. I'm gonna go back into there. I wanna bring that warm tone underneath my eyes. And now it's good to do this while you have all this powder underneath your eye, because if any of it falls out, you can kind of wipe it away after. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna look in here a little bit too. And I'm gonna bring this color up today. I'm gonna bring it all the way in. And I'm gonna do the other eye. And then I'm gonna go deeper. I'm gonna go into that Bowie color, this brown color at the outer corner. And I'm gonna deepen the lash line a bit. And I'm only gonna do this on like the outer part. I'm not gonna go all the way in. I'm just gonna stop like midway. This will just kind of like keep your eye open a little bit, or make it look a little bit more wider. All right, and then what you could do, oh, like that one there. What you can do is go back in with any of these lighter colors and kind of brighten. So if you wanted to go with that neutral sparkle, that mauve color that we did on the inner corner, and you could kind of bring it right, oh yeah, look at that, pretty, pretty. Tap, 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 tappy with a nice little brush. Doesn't matter what shape really, whatever you got. I have a rounded one. That also opens up the eye. Oh yeah, baby. Pretty, pretty. All right, and now I'm gonna contour with a little bit more of my bronzing powder or whatever you got. So I am gonna use kind of like I'm gonna start with a lighter shade. Obviously you could see I'm hitting the pan there. And I'm gonna give myself a deeper contour. I'm leaving this baking stuff on my face. And I'm gonna go in, tap. And we're gonna go, oh yeah, baby. Look at that. And we're gonna circle. And it's okay if you take some of the other powder away. We're gonna wipe it away in a second. I'm gonna go back in. You can bring it up on the cheekbone a little bit too if you want a little bit more of a sun-kissed look. And I'm gonna go back in and I'm gonna do the same thing up here. Small, circular, up by that hairline there, especially if you have your hair back like this. You could kind of like really see in there. Obviously, if I was really going out on a date night, I'd probably have my hair done a little bit nicer. I'm gonna go under here a little. I'm gonna go under my chin a little. Make sure my jawline looks nice and skinny. And then I'm gonna take my brush and I'm gonna make my nose look even thinner. Watch this. I'm gonna squeeze this brush, and if you could use a different brush too. If you have like let's say, if you have a smaller brush, I mean, you could even use like another one of these guys. And make sure there's not too much. And we're gonna thin the nose. And I like to do my tip too to make it look a little shorter. And then I'm gonna go back with that other brush. I'm gonna blend it a little bit so we don't look like we are fighting in a war. And now I'm gonna go back with a big old fluffy brush and I'm gonna wipe away all of that baking powder that we did. And this blends everything. And then if you'd like, add a little blush. I'm going to go into my favorite palette for blush right now, Stilazzi Barbados Blush Palette. And I'm going to go into Papaya. It's got a shimmer on it already. I like to take my angled brush when I do my blush, and I just kind of brush it on in there a little bit. Tap, tap, tappy. And I like to smile so you can see like the tips of your cheekbones there. And I tap, 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 tapping. And I go up. I like to put a little on my nose. There we go. So now we have like a little bit of a sun-kissed look going. After that, you can stop. If you're like me and you want a little bit more of a shimmer highlight, I like to spritz my brush first. I go into any old, let's see here. Today we're going to use Anastasia Beverly Hills Amrezy, my fave. And we're going to go in with that wet brush, tap, and right on that outer part there. Can you see? And just on the top part of your cheekbone. And you could keep adding to this and go crazy if you want. I mean, why not? I love it. Some people don't. Some people do. You could leave it out. It's up to you. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. I like to put it in the middle of my eyes there because I like to make the bridge of my nose look a little bit like more up. And I like to put it all there and a little right there. And voila. Now you could go back with your mascara and go it all up in there and get crazy. Put your mascara. You can curl your lashes if you like. Today I'm just going to go super fast because I think I'm running out of battery here. And I'm going to put some quick mascara on. Now, sometimes you could get a little crazy and add some single lashes up in there too if you really want to get nuts, but we're not going to do that today because you're just going out on a date night with your hubs or your boyfriend. And I got some on me. Quick little trick. I do this on all my clients, and if you've been a client of mine, you know this. I use one of my cards here, and I slip it on under my lashes. And I use it to put mascara on so I don't get mascara all over your face. Because I like to kind of get up in there. If this was me really going out for a date night, I'd probably do this for about another 10 minutes. Because I just keep on packing on the mascara. Now you pick your favorite lip color. I'm gonna pick NYX Stockholm. We're gonna line those lips, baby. And this is also up to you. Okay. You could put a gloss on top of this and be done. You can put a lipstick on top of this. Finish your face. Finish your face with your favorite setting spray. Right now I'm into Morphe Continuous Setting Mix because it like comes out like an aerosol and not like a spritz, and it smells delicious. Let that dry. Primp it up and you're good to go. So this is my date night look for springtime.